The Growing Destinations podcast is brought to you by Experience Rochester. Learn more about Minnesota's third largest city, which is home to Mayo Clinic and features wonderful recreational and entertainment opportunities by visiting experiencerochestermn.com.
I remember this a couple of years ago. This guy crossed the finish line and their Mayo Clinic doctor was there. And this guy was not even supposed to walk for the rest of his life. And he just crossed the finish line. Seeing those experiences are just, I can't get enough of it. I just hang out at the finish line if I can.
Welcome to the Growing Destinations podcast, where we take a deep dive into destination development and focus on a wide range of topics, from tourism and entertainment to economic development and entrepreneurism and much more. I'm your host, Bill Von Bank. Today we're lacing up our running shoes and preparing for the Med City Marathon in Rochester, Minnesota. As one of the longest running marathons in the state, this race has become a signature event for the region, drawing runners, volunteers, and spectators from across the Midwest and beyond. Joining me is Evan Hokus, the Med City Marathon race director, whose leadership has helped shape the event's momentum and mission. We'll explore what inspired him to take on this role, what it takes to organize a race of this magnitude, and what's ahead for the Med City Marathon in 2025 and beyond. Evan Hokus, welcome to the Growing Destinations podcast.
Thanks for having me, Bill.
Well, you're in the thick of it. The race is coming up in a couple weeks. So tell us about the Med City Marathon, which is, if I'm correct, one of the longest running marathons in the state.
Yeah, with it being the third longest running event, I mean, we're on our 29th year. So this event was, going a lot longer before I knew much about it. And it seems like we've initially, it always used to be a Memorial Day weekend event. With our committee recently, we've moved it to the weekend before and have really just tried to bolster the event to be just a great showcase of what Rochester is. So it's an awesome event full of tons of different activities, from health and fitness expos to 5K events. We have a huge kids run where we have about 1,000 kids that come out and run the events. We have relays, half marathons, Boston qualifying marathon, you name it. So
that's really cool, qualifying for the Boston Marathon, which is a signature national event.
Yeah, absolutely. It's nice to have that in the city.
What first drew you to the Med City Marathon, and what inspired you to step into the role of race director?
I used to live in St. Cloud, Minnesota, and I managed the Earth Day run there, which, we saw over 5,000 runners every year to that. And so I kind of got my footing as a race director there, managing that event. And the pandemic happened, and, we closed that event down for the time being. And I started dating somebody from Rochester, Minnesota, and kind of serendipitous. A friend of mine from Final Stretch Company reached out and was like, hey, I can't manage the Med City Marathon anymore. I'm not local. And, I told him, well, this is a great excuse for me to be local. So I ended up moving down here and stepping into the role, and it's been a blast.
And you have an event management company, correct?
Correct. Yep. Under Grey Dog Events.
When you took over as race director, what vision did you have for the future of the Med City Marathon? I'm sure you saw what it was and look out a few years and say, this is what I want it to be.
Seeing the Med City Marathon, with it kind of sitting maybe around 2,000 to 2,500 runners initially, I knew that it could be a bit bigger event, especially with it being Rochester, Minnesota. I mean, it's a city of health. There's a lot going on here. If Fargo and Duluth can do these big scale events, why can't Rochester, And it's still already a nice sized event, but like my friend Mark said, who sold me the event, his big thing was, I'm just not local. I'm not here. I can't get the roots going as much as I want to, and I want to have somebody do this locally, which I respected that. And so that's kind of just been my outlook of how can we get this event more rooted in the community, showcase it off more, and start bringing in more people from the Twin Cities, and that's a big thing, from exterior communities, showing off Rochester, just making this a really unique event.
What are you seeing at some of the other races around Minnesota or even the country that maybe you could bring here, replicate here?
I definitely always keep an eye on what Fargo and Duluth are doing. They just create such a unique atmosphere with their local population. They really engage local businesses to get unique sponsorships, to create fun things, and they do different timing aspects of the event and runner tracking. And before, I think this event was just more along the lines of a race and the finish, and it wasn't such a big celebration of health around the community. And in the last couple of years, that's been something we've been trying to build upon. And I think it's been working.
On the flip side, what sets the Med City Marathon apart from other marathons in the region?
I think it just comes down to Rochester, the Rochester community. With us having, there's Mayo Clinic, but we also have a huge arts population. The downtown is beautiful. We have a lot to show off here. And so that's kind of been a big reason why we've been trying to move the event and just have it deep in the heart of downtown area so that we can, show off everything and who we are and have the volunteers out on the course and just make it a really beautiful course surrounding the Zembro River trails and just finishing right in the heart of downtown. And yeah, people are loving it. It's been great.
What's been the most surprising thing about being a race director? Maybe something you didn't fully anticipate when you took on the role?
I think for me, it's been really surprising to see that people are coming out of the woodworks to be part of the event and support it. This event, they don't really see it as like, hey, this is this company's event, which I don't feel that way either. It's more like of a stewardship role, if that makes sense, right? Everybody really takes ownership of it in this town, from people to the Rochester Running Club to like our sponsors. They're like, this is our event. And it's surprising, hey, I've got these ideas, I've got these things. And people are just emailing me and willing to take on roles that I did not see that coming. And, I start to get stressed. I'm like, how do I manage all this? And people are really showing up in this town because they want something bigger and they want it to be a better event, which is cool. And it has really made a great impact.
Reinforces Rochester as a city of care.
Yeah, definitely.
What are some of the biggest logistical challenges in organizing an event of this size, and how do you tackle them?
Believe it or not, construction can be one.
It's a little
Rochester,
bit of that
Rochester doesn't have any of that, I swear. So, which construction is important, and us growing as a city. But yeah, that's always a trick of us having to remap a Boston qualifying event. I mean, it's not just like you can move a couple streets and roads, right? I mean, we're talking we have to certify this course within the guidelines of it being like, you get a couple inches of room, right? It's like, it can't be short or the course is illegal, right? That's always been a bit of a tricky spot. Honestly, the city of Rochester has been fantastic. I've got a couple key people that I work with who are just going to bat for me within the city of Rochester. It's super cool. Rochester Police Department, they're willing to do a lot of the frustrating things because events like this are kind of intrusive in a way, right? Because we're shutting down roads. It's difficult to travel. We're doing these things, but ultimately, that's why we have community. And if the more people that we can get involved, the better.
You mentioned certification of a course. What does it take to do that?
So you have to have a USATF course measurer out there. There's a handful of them in the Midwest. I actually just became one of them the last couple of years. So I actually go out and do certifications for other events and stuff too. So thankfully I can take care of that on my own. I don't have to fly someone in from...
Check that box.
Which has been an issue in the past. So yeah, calibrating your bike, you manage a lot of different things, temperatures and angles and riding tangents, all this jargon. But at the end of the day, it's a process, to say the least.
How many staff, volunteers, and partners does it take to make race weekend happen?
Oh boy, it takes quite a bit. I think we probably have 20 staff members that are managing different areas of like course setup to, packet pickup and, you name it, right? So when it comes down to volunteers, we probably have 250 volunteers out on the course. So one nice thing that we've been doing, we've been working with partners similar to like Shields, for example, who help us support an Adopt a Water Stop program. They provide funding, which helps us donate dollars directly to local organizations. They come out and they bring droves of people to celebrate and hand out water. And, we can give some dollars back to the community that way. And it just reinvests that way. So partners, I mean, the more partners, the merrier, right? We have lots of different organizations helping us out with Active PT leading the charge. They really do a great job just to bolster the event, help provide volunteer support, financial support, all the things that the event needs to operate.
How do you prepare for unexpected issues like severe weather, medical emergencies, or last-minute changes?
It's always something, but we have a large safety team that is filled with the Rochester Police Department, Mayo Clinic Care, Fire Department, you name it. And then they have actually a large command center on site. To an extent, I kind of take a back seat to their decision making because they're the ones who are professionals in that management. And then we make a decision collectively, and I would make any announcements if there has to be changes.
Do you have any personal favorite moments or stories from past marathons?
For me, the finish line is it's the most tingly place for me. You know what I mean? It's a very emotional experience for me. I love watching it because you get a vast variety of people, right? In the beginning, you're getting all these people who are like, oh my gosh, I just qualified for Boston, and they're freaking out with their families because they're actually going to Boston for the first time because of their time that they set at Med City Marathon. But at that same exact spot, maybe an hour or two later, I remember this a couple of years ago, this guy crossed the finish line and their Mayo Clinic doctor was there, and this guy was not even supposed to walk for the rest of his life, and he just crossed the finish line. Seeing those experiences are just, I can't get enough of it. I just hang out at the finish line if I can.
And the marathon isn't just for runners. I mean, it's a weekend of activity that the whole family can come and enjoy, correct?
Absolutely, yeah. If you just even like hanging out, if you don't know anything about a run, and like watching the experience of seeing people crossing finish lines and wow, these guys just ran 26.2 miles. I wouldn't do that on a bike, but that, some people feel that way, and that's okay. You can experience that and see maybe you're getting inspired. The other piece of it too, we have lots of musicians and celebrations coming down. We actually got a RDA grant this year to help bolster the Finish Line Festival, which is super cool. So we're going to have some pretty big bands. Megan the Birdwatcher is playing. We have Salty Dog from up in the Duluth area. Just awesome street parties. So if you just want to come out and hang out or hit up the Health and Fitness Expo and kind of see what's going on, something for everybody for sure.
Let's look ahead a bit. What are your goals for the Med City Marathon in the next few years?
My goal for this event, I really just want to see this event surpass 5,000 runners. There's no reason why it shouldn't. When I first started, I think in 2019, this event had about 1,900 runners. This last year, we surpassed about 3,000, which is great. So we've been steadily growing every year since we've taken over. And I don't think that there's any reason why this can't be a must-run event in the Midwest. And we're getting there. Every year it's getting better, and the partnerships are growing, and the city's really getting on board with it. So I just want it to be a must-run event in the Midwest, and I think Rochester could do it.
Are the bulk of your runners from Minnesota, or do they encompass many states?
The bulk, definitely. Our exterior population has been growing a lot. We've been pulling a lot from the cities. We've been doing a lot more marketing with like the Twin Cities Marathon. And so that's helped us grow. I mean, last year alone, I think our full marathon grew like 40%, which is super cool to see.
Great.
Yeah. And so there's a lot of room left for growth. And, we just want to capture that.
What motivates you to keep the Med City Marathon moving forward into the future and being progressive about it?
It's the population. It's the, seeing people at the finish line. Post-race, everybody's excited. I've gotten so many sponsors that are just like, keep doing what you're doing. Let's grow this thing. Let's do this. The running club people, you just name it. It's been awesome. And that really gets me stoked to keep carrying it forward.
You mentioned live music being part of the experience, and you yourself are a musician. Can you tell us about that role in your life?
That's definitely probably the two hats that I wear. During this season, I'm basically full-time race director. And after the event, with being a little bit burnt out with all the event stuff, I just, set the event stuff down and pick up my fiddle. So I'm a fiddle player, and I am playing all over the state, a lot of festivals, and you name it. I'm playing with Megan and the Birdwatcher at the Minnesota Yacht Club this year, so that'll be fun. Yeah, we just got a lot of different things going on, but it keeps me busy, that's for sure.
What other bands do you perform with?
In town here, I play with My Grandma's Cardigan as well.
Awesome band.
Yeah, thank you. And my partner, Gina, who is also the other co-leader of the Med City Marathon. She is the lead singer of that band, is fantastic, great singer.
Evan Hokus, great conversation today. Best wishes with this year's Med City Marathon. Thank you for being our guest on the Growing Destinations podcast.
Thanks for having me, Bill.
Thank you for tuning in to the Growing Destinations podcast. And don't forget to subscribe. This podcast is brought to you by Experience Rochester. Find out more about Rochester, Minnesota, and its growing arts and culture scene, its international culinary flavors, and award-winning craft beer by visiting experiencerochestermn.com.